guys, it's Diabetic Girl. Welcome back to my channel. Aren't we all really excited? Also, do you like my shirt? I really like my shirt, and Kai has the exact same one. It was a Christmas present. Anyways, I am not here to discuss my shirt wearing problems. Although I wouldn't consider it a problem. There's a sparkle on my sweater. That's a problem. I love this sweater. Because it's like oversized and fluffy, and I love oversized fluffy things. Anyways, wow. Okay, I'm telling you guys, my camera ADHD is like 10 times worse than my actual ADHD because, you know, you think that I'd be like this all the time, but like the minute that the camera turns on, I can't focus, I can't talk, I gotta like really work at it, like keep my brain going. It's a little ridiculous. Anyways, so I'm actually really excited because today will be the last, just spit on myself. Because today will be the last vlog that I will be filming on my MacBook because I am getting a new camera which has video enabled features and I think it'll just be a lot better quality and I'm really excited for that. So yay. Anyways, now that I've gotten all the crazy out, let's discuss today's video topic, which, as you can see, I have titled Living a Lie. So how do I explain this? So I actually have never talked to anyone about this until right now. And I don't want it to sound dumb or stupid, but throughout doing studio sessions, I feel like I was living a lie more than anything. And I guess I know I'm going to explain that right now. So, as you guys know, studio sessions started filming a little under 2 years ago, and when we initially started, my care was pretty decent, but it could have been better, so I was obviously trying to, like, give myself that kick in the ass by doing everything and getting the show done, and, you know, it worked for the most part. I will give myself that, but between the end of filming and the end of me being in high school, I got really, really depressed. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life, and, you know, this was from someone who legitimately thought that she knew exactly what she wanted to do with her life. I knew what I wanted to go to college for. I knew where I wanted to go to college. I was ready to go. But I want to say around my 18th birthday, I started getting really depressed, and just terrible, terrible things came of that, obviously. And one of those things was the non-care of my diabetes. So I'll be the first person to admit that, like, I wasn't as depressed as I was after my 18th birthday as I was after I graduated high school. I was supposed to take the SATs on my 18th birthday and then decided to not sign up, and I basically just kind of gave up. I gave up all hopes I had of going to college. It was when I started second guessing myself, and I wasn't sure if childhood psychology was what I wanted to major in, so I decided I was not going to go to school. Then I graduated from high school, and, you know, I feel like my depression came from self-loathing because immediately after I graduated high school, I shipped off to camp for the summer, and it was 9 weeks that I was going to be by myself, without my parents, without my significant other of the time, and I just really wasn't sure how I was going to handle everything. Now, I got to camp, and I thought that I was happy. You know, you guys all know I love camp, and even not being there anymore, I would do anything for them. So I thought that, you know, going to camp, because it had always been what fixed my emotional problems, would be just what I needed. Well, surprise. I got the phone call about doing studio sessions full-time about the first 3 days I was at camp, and I was so excited. I was so proud of all the work that we had done. I wrote pitches at 3 in the morning because I just couldn't sleep. I was so excited. But then by the end of the week, the camp had actually asked me to not come to a session, which, for those of you who don't know, when I did day camp, we traveled to all sorts of different locations, and so they had asked me to not go to the Connecticut location, and I was beyond upset. It's about an hour and a half drive home from camp to where I live. So basically, I had to drive an hour and a half, the assistant director of the camp, and like, we had a fun time. It was good to, talk to her because she'd always done camp with me since I started it, but it was just very awkward. And I kind of almost made the decision then that I may not be coming back because of new management. So, they were telling me my blood sugars weren't that great, that I was sleeping through things, and I slept through one meal accidentally because I did have ketones, and I just felt like absolute crap. So I was like, well, whatever. And so about 2 weeks later, they called me to initially fire me, and that was probably one of the most devastating moments in my life. You have to understand, I waited for this summer when I turned 18 and I could be a counselor. I waited for that since I was like 7. Okay, I literally waited for this moment for like 11 years. And because of new management, it was taken away from me. And I was so upset and so depressed. I cried for hours and hours, and I just didn't think there was ever going to be a point of return for me. So at this time, my diabetes care was decent. It was better than it had been, but not great. And shortly after finding out about camp, I dropped off the bandwagon altogether, and I just didn't have it. I kept trying to remind myself every day of how lucky I was that, I had a TV show and I had people who supported me, but it never actually seemed to work, which is the part that still to this day terrifies me. So, come November, I was really getting into the swing of doing studio sessions. I had no cares in the world about my diabetes care. All I wanted was to be back at camp. I figured that camp would be my end-all be-all solution because it always had been. 2 summers before this summer, my dad was hospitalized, and I didn't think I was going to be able to go to camp because I had my little sister with me. And, they graciously welcomed my sister, and while I was at camp, everything felt normal. Camp did such wonderful things for me, and losing it just still upsets me to this day. I really wish I could be there. I obviously keep in very close contact with my campers now that I'm gone. I love them more than anything, and seeing that, I obviously can't be there makes it a lot worse for me. But back to studio sessions. So, obviously, at this point in time, I'm beyond depressed. I just don't care. I'm working all the time. I feel like I don't have time for me. And diabetes care is in the gutter, in the trash. And so, I really started feeling like I was living a lie. Like I was giving people this advice and sharing my life with them, but it wasn't really my life. It was edited pieces of my life, not sharing the struggles I was going through because I wasn't ready to talk about them, or I didn't want people to see me differently because I was struggling. And so, obviously we filmed the regular season 2 for about 9 or 10 months, and the entire time it just didn't feel right to me. I didn't want to hide my struggles from viewers, but I also wasn't ready to admit them myself, which is where Behind the Battle came in. This was supposed to be our season 3 launch, and I was really looking forward to Behind the Battle. It didn't start correctly, which is why we ended up pulling the cord on everything. But I wanted Behind the Battle to bring in other people to tell viewers about the struggle I was having so that I still didn't really have to face it. And I know how terrible that sounds, but that was how I was feeling at that point in time. So, at that point in time, by the time we hit season 3, I was already producing multiples of my own shows for other people, and with everything going on, it just didn't seem like studio sessions was gonna keep going. It was getting boring, it was getting bland, and again, I still wasn't really taking care of myself. I mean, I was, but it was basically not good at all. And I think one of my bigger wake-up calls was I sat on a show called Stand Strong, in which I discussed my life with diabetes, and again, did not discuss my struggles. I feel like the people who have seen me on TV know me as someone who is unstoppable, but, I mean, I am, but I'm also not perfect. And I feel like I made my diabetes out to be like it was fun and it was fine, I was getting along just fine, but I wasn't. And I'm still not. I'm definitely better than I was, but I'm still not just fine. You know, I honest to godly thought that when I went to the hospital last month, I could have died. I deeply regret every mistake I've ever made. I regret living this lie. I feel like if I had come to terms with it and actually sat down in front of a camera like I'm doing right now, I would have maybe been able to fix some things. And maybe not. I'll never know. But to me, it was so important to keep an image up, and I feel absolutely terrible for that, and I feel terrible for living a lie for the past 2 years. And I know it's not like a full lie, but like I feel like it was. You know, I couldn't admit that I was struggling. You guys can ask Guy if you want. I still won't admit that I'm struggling because I hate being seen as weak. And I know that struggling doesn't make me weak now, obviously, and you know, I'm really trying to work to better myself and make things right with my health. But, you know, you fear the damage that you've caused, and I know that I definitely do. So I know moving forward I'll be better. And, you know, I obviously want to apologize to you guys because I feel like for so long I kept living this lie, and not just on TV, but if I did diabetes rants or anything, I feel like I was very deeply living a lie, and I am really sorry for that. But I want to thank you guys for obviously your continued love and support, and I can't wait to do better and see where it takes me. So I will talk to you guys really soon, and again, thank you so much. Bye.